How's it going, guys? Patrick here with a brand new video. Now this video is going to kind of give my opinions and a little mini discussion on which year will be better for Nintendo Switch, 2017 or 2018. Now we are about 3 months into the life cycle of the Switch. So far I've got to say it's probably my favorite console, favorite launch of a console, I would say, probably of all time. I've had a lot of fun with these games. Usually consoles don't really launch with a lot of stuff. I'm not saying there's an abundance of games for the Switch, but there's definitely been a lot of titles that I've enjoyed so far. And if you're looking further down this year, Nintendo Switch definitely has a lot of games coming out. I'll mostly be focusing in on the first-party games and kind of comparing it to what we know about 2018. Of course, we don't really know a lot, but E3 kind of gave us a sneak peek of what to expect. So I kind of thought of this topic, and I was like, you know what? 2018 is looking really, really good. Could it be better than this year's lineup, this year's games that have been confirmed? I will also take into consideration some third-party games. Of course, that's a little unfair for 2018 because nothing is confirmed yet, obviously. We don't know what games are coming. But there is an interesting discussion with third-party games that I'll get to in a little bit. But first, I kind of want to highlight some of the games that are coming out this year, and some of them have already came out, obviously. So you got Breath of the Wild is the launch game. Fantastic game. I really can't say enough about this game. This game, you know, it's one of those kind of once in 10-year kind of game where you play it and the game seems a little bit bigger than yourself. I've done one playthrough. I played about 80 hours of the game, which really is not common for me when it comes to playtimes with games. But this game is completely fantastic. I don't want to go too much into it. I can make hundreds of videos about this game, but I won't dive too deep into it. But just know that this game is a must-play, even if you're not a Nintendo fan. And, you know, the other major titles that have come out, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which, of course, is a port. It's, you know, of course, more features have been added, some more characters, the new battle mode. But I think that that's a pretty complete game and deserves kind of mentioning. ARMS came out, which is a brand new IP. Fantastic game so far. I've liked pretty much every part of it so far. I don't know how I will feel about this game later on. I don't know if the kind of novelty of this game will wear off for me. But so far, I love it. And then you have games like Splatoon 2, Pokken, Super Mario Odyssey, Fire Emblem Warriors, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Mario Rabbids, Skyrim, FIFA. We have the Sonics, both the Sonic games coming. Sonic Mania is probably the game that I'm going to pick up over the other Sonic game. But Sonic Mania looks really cool. So that's kind of those are the main games for 2017, which I think is a fantastic lineup. And I really can't think of another console with that kind of first-party games in the first year. The Switch is definitely doing something special, and I think it's a very smart move by Nintendo. A lot of people have been saying, why is the Switch pushing out so many of its first-party games? It's setting itself up for a drought. You got to remember, when the Wii U came out, the initial games that came out for the Wii U, we had a severe drought after those initial games came out. There wasn't another game for months. I mean months, like 6 months. And then we started getting more games. The Switch, as of right now, for every single month until really the end of the year, we have a major title coming out. And some months we have multiple titles coming out. This is exactly what you want from a launch year of a new console. This holiday season is going to be fantastic for Nintendo. They are going to make so much money, especially for people who still don't have a Switch. I mean, there's like 5 or 6 games that you're going to want by Christmas, which is nuts. I mean, that really never happens for any kind of console. So I think that this year, if all of these games perform the way that I think they are going to, I would probably give this year an A+. I mean, I really can't see any fault with it. Splatoon 2 is starting to look a little underwhelming for me. I still don't know what to think of Mario Rabbids. Pokken is of course a port, so that's not really an original game. Super Mario Odyssey looks like another one of those kind of Breath of the Wild games, console selling games. Fire Emblem Warriors I'm not too interested in. Kind of just like the hack and slash, the Warrior franchise. And then Xenoblade Chronicles 2 looks pretty amazing. So if you really boil it down, we've gotten 2 fantastic ports, or we will get, in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Pokken DX. We're getting 2 fantastic mainstay console-selling titles in Super Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild. Those games are probably going to be the best Switch games when it's all said and done. I hate to get ahead of myself, and I hate to kind of be a little bit bleak for the future, but Breath of the Wild is a fantastic game. We all know that. Super Mario Odyssey looks incredible. Those are probably going to be the best games of the Switch's life. And then we're getting Xenoblade Chronicles 2, a game that looks fantastic. I think will do incredibly well. So that's pretty much 2017. We haven't really gotten a lot of third-party support. I mentioned this in the last video. I think that we're going to get more as time goes on. But we're getting FIFA, we're getting Sonic, we're getting Mario Rabbids. So it's not like we're getting nothing from third parties, but definitely not really on the strong side. And like I said before, I think that really the install base of the Switch really has to come into play. Why would third parties make games for a console that really not a lot of people have? I mean, as popular as the Switch is, third parties aren't going to come yet. I mean, there's just no incentive for them. It's definitely not performance-based. The Switch can handle games like Breath of the Wild, like Super Mario Odyssey. I mean, those are very cartoon kind of art styles, but those are pretty tough on a console. So I really don't doubt anything of the Switch. And if you guys have seen anything from Xenoblade 2, you would know that this console can handle quite a bit. Now, going on to 2018, we only have 4 titles confirmed, 2 of which I don't even know that will actually come out. So please bear with me. Please, for the sake of this video, assume that every single game I'm about to mention is going to come out in 2018, because as of right now, that's all we have to go on. So the first 2 kind of mainstay console selling Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey type games are going to be your Pokemon RPG game and Metroid Prime 4. Metroid Prime 4 is one of the games that could possibly contend with Breath of the Wild depending on how it's done. I think there is a tremendous opportunity for Metroid Prime 4 to be one of the best games of this decade. And I really don't over-exaggerate when I say this. You know, I know the hype train is in full force. You know, we got to see the best logo of all, but Prime 4 has a fantastic opportunity to completely steal the show next year at E3 if that's the featured game. So if you look at Prime 4 and you look at Pokemon RPG, those could be as big or bigger than Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey. So those 2 games alone make 2018 fantastic. Then you look at some of the lower tier games, but still high on my list. You have both the 2D games. You have Kirby, 2018. We don't have titles, of course, and the Yoshi game. When I saw the Kirby game announced at E3, which by the way was my favorite announcement of E3, I was completely blown away by Kirby and what we've seen from that game so far. The addition of cooperative play, it's an amazing looking game. The fact that you can combine powers again, that's something that we haven't seen for a very long time in the franchise. That game looks fantastic. And the game that probably surprised me the most is the Yoshi game. It's kind of in the style of Woolly World meets Paper Mario. When you play the game, and I saw the demo of it on the Treehouse, you can be going along, and the whole gimmick of the game is to play both sides of the level. So you play the level fully through, and then you play the level again, but on the backside. So you're constantly seeing things that you would have never been able to see, but you're on the opposite side. That's the big gimmick. So you could be playing on one side and seeing little flowers bounce around, but if you go on the opposite side, they're actually little shy guys holding little flower-like signs. It is just the most adorable looking game and looks really cool. So you have those 4 games: Kirby, Yoshi, Pokemon, and Metroid Prime. Now, by this time next year, the amount of people with Nintendo Switches is probably going to be triple what we have now. I would assume by next year, depending on how good Nintendo is with their production, keeping up with their production, I think that Nintendo could possibly have 20 million Switches out by next year. I don't really think that's a crazy number. I think Nintendo Switch will continue to sell. I think we could possibly see Nintendo Wii numbers by the end of it, because I think that the 3DS is going bye-bye. So there will need to be a handheld in the market, and those people that are strictly handheld users will be playing exclusively on the Nintendo Switch. So I think because of that large install base, third parties will come crawling to Nintendo to put any and every single game on the Switch. I'm talking about Call of Duty. I'm talking about any sports game, the 2K series. I'm talking about Madden. The games that we aren't getting this year will be on the Switch next year. There's just no way around it. You know, you're really going to tell me that a third-party company is not going to put a game on the Nintendo Switch, which has upwards of 30 million users clamoring for new games. I just don't believe it. I'll believe it when I see it. We will get tremendous third-party support next year for the Switch. Also, and these are little features that aren't confirmed, but I'm kind of assuming that they will happen. 2018, we will have Virtual Console. You can refer to this video when it comes out. There is no way that Virtual Console will be off the Switch for very long. So we will have that. We will have the full internet service, which will give us even more features than we think. The free NES games that they've mentioned before. So Virtual Console, third-party games, the 4 major first-party games that I listed before, that can strongly make a case for 2018 slightly edging out 2017. Now, these are all assumptions. Every single one of these games, in fact. We don't even know for sure any of those games are going to be confirmed. But assuming that they do happen, we could be in for a strong second year for the Nintendo Switch. Now, I'm also going to go out there and say that either Pikmin or Animal Crossing will be another big reveal next year. I think that Pikmin 4 is probably already done. I think Animal Crossing will not be too far behind in terms of when that will come out. So 2018, with all that being said, could possibly be better than 2017, which is absolutely nuts if you think about it. Because this year is loaded with games. We have every and any kind of game. We have adventure games. We have multiplayer games. We have fighting games, shooting games. Like, this year is incredible in terms of variety. Next year could be even better, which is really scary to think about. What Nintendo is doing right now, they are finally listening to consumers. And I strongly believe, guys, I think that next year this time, there will be a ton of third-party games announced for the Switch. There's just no way around it. The install base is going to be way too big. And at that time, developers are going to have more time with the Switch to know, okay, this is what we can do. This is how we can port our games to the console. I'm just going to go out there and saying that we're going to get 2 more ports of Wii U games. I think that we could possibly see a Super Smash Brothers. I think they're not going to make another one. I think that we're going to get a deluxe Smash Bros, which I'm actually in favor for. Give us more characters, give us more levels, and call it a day. And for me, that would be fine. The other port, I'm not too... I don't know. I'm kind of lost. But I think that we're going to get another port. Whether it's Super Mario Maker, that I would be fine with, but I think that we're going to get, all in all, we're going to get 4 ports. So if you compare the games from 2017 to 2018, 2018, if all those predictions come true, and we do get the Virtual Console and we do get the third-party games, could possibly edge out 2017, which is a very interesting thing to think about. Anyway, guys, this is Patrick from R-Wing Attack. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. What do you think? 2017, 2018, who you got? Thank you very much. Hit subscribe if you like this content. Remember, like always, like, subscribe, share. I don't know. Do your thing, man. Thank you.